Hello, and welcome to The View from Business Forum London. I'm Joy Macknight, Deputy Editor at The Banker, and I'm joined by Paul Horlock, CEO of New Payment System Operator, or NPSO. Paul, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You were on a panel discussing the building blocks to open banking,
Yeah.
but before we discuss that, let's roll it back. And I know the UK is revamping its whole payments infrastructure. What role is the NPSO playing in that, and what will it look like?
Well, the NPSO is the catalyst, like the hub for retail payments in the UK. So we're bringing together faster payments, which is our real-time payments engines, our BACS payments, which is our payroll, direct credits, 3-day cycle payments, and our check and credit clearing company, which runs really a 350-year-old process, which we're modernising today, into one company. And that company, the NPSO, will be the hub for all of retail payments, alongside the Bank of England, which is the hub for wholesale payments. And we have the job of delivering the new payment architecture to take that opportunity of the three schemes together into one new way of connecting and providing accessibility to the UK market.
Okay, so what will the new payment architecture look like?
Glad you asked that. We have a view on the principles behind it. So if you followed the Payment Strategy Forum last year, you'll see a blueprint that was delivered in December 2017, which talks about a new architecture that's built on a new clearing and settlement layer, which is built on the ISO 20022 standard. Then above that layer, a number of subsequent layers that talk about providing more competition, more openness, more accessibility to new entrants and to banks and to new third parties in a way that we wouldn't have done before. So some of the things that we do today at the centre, some of the products we might provide, we expect them to be more open in the market, provided by new vendors and new providers. So the NPSO will build the foundation, the clearing and settlement layer, but then provide standards and rules which allow the further layers of the architecture to meet those requirements in terms of the end-to-end service for customers.
Okay, and at the same time we have open banking and the Payment Services Directive 2 as well. How will that impact sort of the new payments ecosystem?
Well, one of the spines that runs down that new picture is the API ecosystem that open banking is building. So the directory and the API standards that allow access to data and access to payment initiation service provision are really one of the key tenets of how the MPA would work. So we're working really closely with the Open Banking Implementation Entity on standards for APIs and how the directory will work and how third parties are inducted to that directory to make sure that when we open up new product opportunities, it meets the standards and it provides the safety and security for customers, but also provides innovation opportunities to new developers and new vendors.
Because that's the big thing in the panel that you were on just recently. There was a lot of talk about trust and security. So how can banks and other payment providers, how can they really protect their clients' data?
Well, look, we've got two key regulators. We've got the Bank of England and we've got the PSR. The bank win every time because it's about resilience and about security, and actually if we don't get that right, we don't have the mandate to innovate. So the work we're doing on secure customer authentication in open banking, the work we're doing on security around the standards and the connectivity and the way that we expect the ecosystem to interact with each other is all about providing that safety and security to the bank to give us the mandate to then meet the innovation requirements. And what we've done is involved all of our participant banks, building societies, we're reaching out to fintechs, new vendors, developers to come and get involved in the process so that we can really start to manage customer experience end-to-end, but customer confidence end-to-end. And that's one of our key requirements that came through the Payment Strategy Forum that led to the formation of the NPSO, is to rebuild trust in parts of the banking industry that maybe was knocked down a bit or diluted away following the crisis late in the last decade. But we really want to drive forward on that to give customers the confidence to take on some of these new ideas, some of these new products.
Okay, and my last question is really about the timeline for this. So, and how long do you think it's actually going to take to move to that open banking future?
Well, we had our meeting, well, the Bank of England met today to agree whether we're an operator or not. I think we're in good shape there. So we're straight into now working on the standards and the design around the foundation layer of the architecture. And we expect to replace what is currently the faster payment engine in around 21-22. But what we expect over that period is that the MPA, the new payment architecture picture, will colour itself in over that time. So things like confirmation of payee, request to pay, new overlay services that come through open banking will start to appear over this year, next year and the year after, so that as we get to replace the foundation, we've already got new services and new opportunities live in the ecosystem. So you'll see an evolution, a gentle evolution over the next 3 or 4 years, which I think is what we want. We want a safe delivery of this in a way that customers can understand it and consume it, and the participants can really build and develop and evolve as that system starts to build itself out.
Excellent. So lots of change happening. Watch this space.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Paul.
Thank you.